You know that feeling, right? You pour everything into a project, weeks, maybe even months. You finally launch it, you celebrate, and then that little question starts creeping into the back of your mind. Did it actually work? Well, today we are going to build the framework to answer that question and answer it with some real confidence. So, you did it. The product is out there, the new process is live, the campaign has launched, but what happens next? I mean, beyond just a gut feeling or hearing a few nice comments, how do you really know if you hit the bullseye? This is all about the difference between just hoping for success and actually engineering it from the start. All right, here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle that big overarching question. Did it work? Then we'll get into two super important ideas, the difference between watching your project and actually judging it. After that, we get practical. We're going to build a scorecard and figure out how to do a proper follow-up. And finally, we'll see how it all connects to close that impact loop. Okay, let's dive right in. The whole point here is to make a huge shift in how we think, moving away from just guessing and hoping and into a place of actually knowing. It's all about being able to stand behind your work with cold, hard evidence. Because look, measuring your impact isn't just for a pat on the back. It's actually the engine that helps you get better. When you know it's working, like for example, that a new quick share button in your app is actually getting people to share more, well, you can do more of that. And when you know it's not working, you can fix it or, try something else. And maybe most importantly, this is how you prove that your hard work has real value to your team, to your boss, to everyone. So to really get a handle on this, we need to understand two key concepts. They sound a little similar, but trust me, they do very different jobs when it comes to figuring out if your project was a success. We're talking about monitoring and evaluation. And understanding this difference is, well, it's everything. Think of it like this. Monitoring is like the dashboard in your car. It's that ongoing, real-time tracking that's constantly telling you, how are we doing right now? You're checking your speed, your fuel, all while you're driving. Evaluation, on the other hand, that's like the analysis you do after the road trip. It's a bigger picture look, asking, so, how did we do overall? So for our quick share button, monitoring is watching the daily clicks, evaluation is that deep dive you do every quarter to see if it actually made users happier. You absolutely need both. Okay, so if monitoring is our car's dashboard, then what are the actual gauges we should be looking at? Well, we build those ourselves by creating a project scorecard. And we do that using something called Key Performance Indicators, or KPIs. A KPI is basically a vital sign for your project. It's that one specific, measurable number that cuts through all the noise and tells you, plain and simple, whether you're on track to hit your big goals. So for our quick share button, a KPI wouldn't just be get more shares, no way. It would be something like achieve a 15% increase in daily users using the share feature within 30 days. See? That's the number on the scoreboard that tells you if you're winning the game. But here's the catch. You can't just track everything under the sun. A really good KPI has to be, first, specific and clear. Everyone on the team knows exactly what we're measuring. It's got to be measurable, obviously. We need that 15% number. It also has to be relevant to what we're actually trying to do, which is increase engagement. And maybe the most important part, it has to be actionable. If that number isn't going up, we know we have a problem we need to dig into. All right, so your KPIs are humming along, helping you monitor the day-to-day journey. But now it's time for that bigger moment of truth, the evaluation. This is where we do a follow-up assessment to get that high-level, zoomed-out perspective on how things really went. And this isn't just some vague meeting, right? It's a structured process. First, you plan it out. You decide, okay, we're gonna survey users about the new quick share button. Then, step 2, you go and collect that data, the surveys, the usage stats, all of it. Step 3 is where the magic happens. You analyze it. You figure out if the button not only got clicks, but if actually improved how satisfied people are. And finally, you report what you found and use it to make better decisions next time. And this brings us to the most crucial point of all. Monitoring with your KPIs and evaluating with these assessments, they aren't just separate things you do once in a while. They're actually part of a powerful, continuous cycle that turns all that raw data into genuinely smart decisions. Just look at how beautifully this all fits together. You implement your solution, the quick share button. Then you monitor its performance every day with your KPI. At the end of the quarter, you step back and evaluate the total impact on user happiness. And all of that feeds directly into the most important step of all. You learn, you adapt, and you make your next project even smarter. This, right here, is how real, lasting progress happens. So I'll leave you with this to think about. For that one big project that's on your mind right now, what's its true north? What is the single metric that, above everything else, tells you whether you are truly winning? If you can nail that down, you've taken the first, most important step in building a real architecture of impact.